Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome to Total Fall of the Samurai. This is a mod for Shogun 2 Total War Fall of the Samurai and basically goes ahead and brings the game into the mid to late to early, I guess all of the 18th century. The beginning of this kind of prologue campaign that we're going to be taking a look at today is set in the Carlist War, the first Carlist War in Spain, which is basically around about 1830, I believe, as the Spanish have kind of their own civil war, and you can play as a whole range of different factions in that war, some that necessarily didn't influence it directly and some that did, and it will basically provide for a really nice kind of introduction whilst the grand campaign map is underway. I believe the modder does plan on having basically the entire world in some way or another, really giving this kind of Victorian style Total War to its full glory, having these superpowers colonizing, you know, the far reaches of Asia as well as Africa, and the American powers fighting internally against Mexico, etc, etc. It's basically going to shape up to be a very exciting mod, and I implore you to go ahead and check out the mod itself. I'll leave a Discord down below in the description. I don't believe that this campaign is out quite yet to the public, but I'm sure the modder is looking for testers to help out, as well as obviously to keep up to date with the mod itself. So not only is it looking to add in an entire custom campaign map for everything, it's got new units ranging from Russian unicorn artillery pieces to the Coldstream Guard, etc. All the awesome 18th century weaponization you'll find in this mod. So what we'll do to kick off the video is we'll just dive into the campaign itself. And as I said, this is set in the Carlist War, I believe the first Carlist War, so you can play as a handful of factions. You can play as Portugal, you can play as the Spanish or the Carlist Spanish, and also the Kingdom of Portugal. So I guess there's a split of Portugal supporting either side of the Spanish Civil War. Then you can play as France, the United Kingdom, and Spain itself. At the moment, it's only really France and the United Kingdom that you can play as, and the United Kingdom only have Gibraltar, so they're going to kind of just come flying in, whereas France have a lot more of a backbone, and that's who we're going to dive in and just take a look at. So we'll be able to see the custom map, and it's really actually exciting having a more European focused global map, because obviously if you don't know, if you never played Fall of a Samurai, trains became a very big part of like the mid to late game. As you industrialized, you started building train networks everywhere, and that basically allowed you to set up a train network where you could very much just move your troops around the map very quickly. And I think if the modder is looking forward to going ahead and creating a very large map, a world map is going to be very big, he's going to have to do stuff about moving troops very efficiently. And I think stuff like these railroads right here is going to be so awesome. This railroad right now. So actually, first things first, we'll take a look at the overall map. So as you can see right here, we start in kind of the south of France, right by the mountains of Spain, and then into Spain you got Portugal. You also have Northern Africa. I don't believe Northern Africa is in the game in any way at the moment, but maybe he will look to add in some more stuff like that. You got Gibraltar down here, and you can basically see all the regions, and you can also see the regions on the map as well. Obviously, we've got Fog of War on at the moment, so you guys can't see all the land itself, but we'll be able to see some stuff in France, and then I'll load up England as well, so you guys can see a bit more from their point of view, or maybe a few other facts. Maybe we'll load up as Spain, and you can see a bit more about them. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of regions in the game. I don't think there's too many. I mean, obviously, in the grand campaign, this map will have to be shortened down, but it makes sense, for a mini campaign, gives you plenty of stuff to do. So if you want to take a look at the units, we will take a look at the units in the custom battle at the end of the video. But again, you just have basically normal units that you can go ahead and recruit and build up when you are in obviously certain regions. Buildings have obviously been completely revandalized, and obviously you can see on the campaign map as well, buildings are very, very different as well. A whole range of buildings, from building gunnery camps to cadet schools to get better infantry and give you more militia and stuff. And it also does run off the same province system of Shogun 2. So you have you have a region, and then you have resources tied to that region, kind of a bit more like what they're doing with the new later Total Wars to kind of come back to this. And you can obviously upgrade these. So right now we have a railway station here, and we can use this railway station as well to actually move troops as well. If, for example, I was to select this army, I could then use the these guys, send this force over to that railroad, and then use them to traverse through the mountains and get over here very quickly. You can also see the railroads coming through the mountain, which is really nice design, because obviously, you know, Spain isn't in Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai, so the modder has gone ahead and created a very, very cool custom map, and that's one of the awesome things about Shogun 2 is the ability to do this. Again, you can see Barcelona right here as well, looking very, very glorious indeed. An outer wall and then a fort in between or inside. I don't believe there are custom buildings in this mod actually on the battlefield quite yet, but I'm sure that is something the modder will look to do as the mod gets more and more developed, adding in different cultural buildings. Yeah, and I really love the map design. I definitely think that, because I played an earlier version of this mod beforehand, the modder has done a great job of adding in more stuff on the campaign map. You know, before there was just like a lot of bare ground like this, and if that's covered across the entire map, things do get a bit mundane. It doesn't look necessarily as good. Shogun 2 starts to show its age more than anything else, but once you do start to have a lot more of like trees and kind of different bits of snows and mountains and hills and farmland and stuff, I think it does definitely bring a lot more life to the mod itself. So yeah, I think more train tracks and stuff like that would be really cool. Having it so that, you know, armies can traverse through train tracks very efficiently, but it takes a turn. I think that's such a cool mechanic, and yeah, it definitely fits the era very, very effectively. Also, look at that, this bloody mountain fortress right here. Ain't no way you're breaking through there whatsoever. So yeah, we already took a look at the buildings, but I'll just go ahead and give you another proper show off as well, so you can see all the different types of buildings that you can pick up. And again, a lot of stuff, if you do see stuff that is kind of like Shogun 2 related, like the pictures for like the assassins and the gentlemen and stuff, that stuff will be changed as the mod gets more and more developed. So really cool. So let's take a look at Spain so you guys can get a good idea about the overall kind of size of Spain and what it is more about. And then maybe we'll take a look at Britain as well. And then we'll jump in and take a look at some units. Taking a look at Spain, and as you can tell, the map itself has very much been blocked out. This is not a faction or an area that has really been done yet, so I assume a lot of this stuff is just kind of like blocking, so the modder knows exactly where to put his mountains and where to put, you know, whatever else he's decided to code right there. But you can take a look at Spain itself. Again, obviously Madrid being a very, very upgraded settlement and going to really be the strength of it, but I really just wanted to kind of show off the mod itself, like kind of the scale of Spain. You can see where Britain starts here, and there is actually a railroad right there, which is, I assume, something that Britain's going to want to try and take down as soon as possible, control that so it can push itself into into the north of Spain. I really love that mechanic. I know I already mentioned it, but the ability to have these kind of like fast-moving relocated troops is just really awesome. Also, as well, there are naval stuff in this, but I don't believe the modder is planning on really going into a lot of detail with the ships quite yet. His main focus is obviously going to be to finish out a lot of the a lot of the terrain and stuff around around the Spanish maps and countryside, and I think definitely adding in more farmland and stuff in the kind of the more bare parts of Spain is going to be a very, very good idea. But as you can see, the map is pretty goddamn large, and you're going to have to really do some decent work. Obviously, you've got Portugal over here on the far left as well. So yeah, let's just quickly dive in as Britain really quickly, and then I'll jump into a battle, or I'll jump into custom battles, and you guys can see you can see a bit more about the units themselves, because obviously that's a big part of the mod itself, is the awesome units they have and the way that units do interact with one another. Okay, so again, this is Britain. They just start off with Gibraltar. There is no additional land they do have, obviously, because the British Isles isn't in the game, and Britain didn't have any other control over in this area at this time. So yeah, you just start off with some of the English troops. As you do start off with some Gordons, Highlanders, Tier 1, and then just some foot infantry. Gibraltar isn't exactly the strongest settlement, but obviously it is a military fortress that the British use, so has a pretty upgraded port and also has some pretty upgraded infantry schools as well, so you can recruit a decent amount of soldiers even though they are a low tier. It would be kind of cool to set up some scripts in the game if you're playing as the United Kingdom, to have like supply drops coming in or something like that, kind of like Age of Empires 3. Something like that would be cool. Something else as well I haven't mentioned yet in the mod is each of the factions do have their own customized technology as well. which is very cool. I think some powers do share tech, but for the most part, you are going to be having custom technology, which I think is so awesome. I think technology is one of the ways you can really make kind of the game not feel like it is Shogun 2 and make it feel like it is the area you're trying to do. I think technology plays a much bigger part in a lot of these overhaul mods than people do give it credit for. I really do. So obviously, as you can see, as you get more industrialized and you improve the development of your faction, you can obviously unlock way more stuff. And I think it's again, Shogun 2, awesome mechanic right here. And again, really fits the Victorian era. The industrialization of all the great powers is very cool indeed. So yeah, that's going to basically be Britain. Again, your goal as Britain will be to obviously push out and I guess to start taking more and more of the Spanish land. I didn't see any of the Carolist Spanish factions though, so, or the Carlist, I'm not sure how you pronounce that exactly, but I didn't see any of them, so maybe you will go ahead and unlock way more kind of, maybe it's like scripted that it just kind of revolts if you don't play as them, which is very, very, yeah, interesting. As you can see, the train going off as well. So goddamn cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive into some of the battles. I'll jump into custom battles really quick. I don't think I even have to cut it here because we will be able to see it momentarily. As Shogun 2 does run like a dream on a, on a very, very new SSD, so we can load up pretty quickly. So if we just go to custom battles, yeah, you can see some of the units. So at the moment, there are only the French monarchy and the Bourbon monarchy. Maybe some spoilers that's going to happen in that campaign. We also do have the United Kingdom as well. So if we go to a modify an army, you can see a few more. So there's a few tier 1 generals at the moment if I just select one. And you can really take a look at a lot of the units. There's a lot of cannons, some heavy howitzers. You got some lighter howitzers, some mortars. And then you also have a lot of cavalry as well. Lifeguard. I don't know what the SD and WD do mean. Exactly, but there are 2 variants of a lot of these guys, so not exactly sure. I guess we could just load in as a battle. And again, you're going to have a lot of, maybe like standard drill and well drilled, maybe? So you have a variant of them. I guess one will be more expensive, they're not at the moment. But yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? So one's like well drilled, so it's more like experienced and it's better done, and one's maybe a bit more standard, like your standard recruits. That makes a lot of sense actually, which is very cool. I mean, obviously for the French as well, you have a bunch of generals, and again you can see their roster in their entirety as well in the campaign build. Now there are units done for factions like Russia, Austria, Prussia, and America as well. Also has a pretty decent army tree, but obviously there's no need to have them in this mod at this time because the campaign won't reflect that. But there are units in there. I have seen them. I've played battles with them. They're very cool. So let's quickly jump into a battle, England versus France, or the United Kingdom versus France, and then we can see kind of a bit more about what these units actually do look like. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the British forces as the French just charge towards me, because why not? That's obviously a great idea to charge a gun line, seemingly what the AI is doing. But yeah, so on the front line, we just have some foot infantry. These guys are basically the basic infantry for the British, but they look absolutely amazing. Shogun 2 is an old game, but again, this doesn't really show it. The models themselves look great, and obviously in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at, this is generally probably the closest you'll ever get. Shogun 2 is still a beautiful game, and yeah, I mean, that looks pretty amazing indeed, especially with the fog setup. I mean, and even more so as well when the guns are firing. We'll obviously cut ahead to when the guns are firing momentarily, but yeah, that looks absolutely great, and yeah, definitely going to be awesome to see this mod get more and more developed. As we go further back as well, we do have the Coldstream Guard, as the announcer does say. I believe the Coldstream Guard are actually in the game, and you can recruit them for Fall of the Samurai. But these are the Coldstream Guard right here, and you have the other variant as well over on this side. Again, I could be completely making this up, but well-drilled and standard drilled does make sense. You also have a drummer as well, which is kind of cool. Obviously, a lot of these are all custom animations that have been added in the mod itself with the flags. You got a general back here as well, and a flag carrier leading the men. There you go, he's got a scar on his head. We got the cannons back here, which hopefully will be opening up momentarily. I mean, look at that cannon range. Oh my god, that is insane. Well, let's start firing that cannon, because that'll be pretty awesome. We also have some cavalry as well. We've got some dragoons set up in here, and we can dismount these guys if we want to. The cannon's about to shoot. There we go. Can we see the explosions? The cannonballs just roam across the sky right there. Oh, the howitzer shots, killing about 2 of the French horses right there. Not bad whatsoever. Yeah, and again, you can also do a handful of things with these guys. You have their square formation with this infantry. So you can organize your infantry to form that. That's probably what it is. The drill level of a unit is probably how much of this stuff they can do. So again, because this is late Victorian era, you can do a lot of different stuff. Obviously, the troops are a lot more drilled. This is obviously after the Battle of Waterloo and stuff. So the armies are very, very well drilled. I mean, one of the advantages of the Napoleonic Wars was how advanced the armies do get. Can also stick this down. You can do a few other things as well. A suppressive fire. You can fire in ranks, put stakes down. What does fire in ranks do anything as well over on this flank? Do they do anything in particular? Any new animations? No. Can also do kneel fire as well. Well, we'll have to see what that looks like actually in the battle, as my infantry are getting in a long range to put down a lot of spikes. But you can form some pretty good stuff. What would be really cool, really, really cool, is if you could ever put down sandbags and basically create your own fortifications. I don't know if there'd be a way to make it so that you press this button, your soldiers spread out. They put down there's an animation for sandbags or something. You could even do the same sort of animation with a spade, and then that gives you the ability. That gives you the ability to actually deploy behind something. That would be really cool, because obviously in Shogun 2 you can deploy behind trenches and stuff like that. As if it's a garrison and building, which is very, very cool indeed. So anyway, let's skip ahead until the enemy are upon us. We will engage them with full force of the English or the British Empire, and we'll see what them guys. So seemingly the French didn't want to go ahead and come to me. They mainly just took this hill to their advantage, which you cannot blame them. So I've gone ahead and advanced the boys in regimental order. We've got the foot infantry on the front lines. Unfortunately, we can't go ahead and just slaughter the enemy. Oh, and here we go. Actually got some of the enemy cavalry coming in. So let's go and form a square, see if we can repel this cavalry. I think I did form that square a little bit too late, but maybe the boys will be able to form that just in time. Oh god, we also got the Coldstream Guard coming in as well. Let's pull them back. Don't need them stuck in. But yeah, let's go ahead and let the fights. And as you can see, the enemy Lancers moving in. They're actually doing a lot of damage to my units, but I shoot a lot of them as they fall back. Obviously, one of the advantages of square is being able to lay down a pretty nice suppressive fire. And the infantry might even be able to do some good work there as well. If we maybe turn a company. Oh, we even got some of the infantry back here firing through the gap. They're actually forming up to charge me again. However, the square is able to repel them. So yeah, let's actually take a look at some of the French line right here, pushing through the forest right now. We have some of the Fusiliers. These guys are just the basic French infantry. As they disappear, of course they do. Yes, we've got some basic French Fusiliers here, holding the flags up high. The French flags are always so cool from this era. And then we obviously do have more Lancers. I also gave them some high-tier units as well. Yeah, some Voyage of the Legion. And again, they disappeared, of course. But we'll have to see them as more of their cavalry comes flying into me. What we should probably do is I should probably advance my line so we can start shooting. And then we can start messing around with some of these abilities as well. So we can see what more of the abilities. Obviously, the enemy have taken the forest, which isn't good. I really like how the AI is cyclically charging me, but that's kind of fun and interesting. You don't really get to see the AI do that too often. So let's go ahead and form up here. Are we able to give them a volley? We are indeed. I think we're probably receiving a volley. Are you guys on fire? Well, you should be, right? Can you guys unleash hell? Have to go forward a little bit. That's fine with me. Let's give them a volley, boys. Oh, there you go. I mean, that's... Oh, it looks so good. One of the great things about this game is just how good the firing does look. It must be the hill in our way, right? If that's the case, let's push forward this unit as well. There you go. Oh. I mean, it really does look amazing. So let's go ahead and tell this unit to go ahead and toggle rank fire ability. And we'll see what that's like when they do fire. Obviously, it'll probably be the first rank, second rank, third rank, all firing in order. So let's see what that is like. We've got a nice cinematic mode here as well. So obviously everyone's reloading. Back rank is ready to fire. Maybe the back rank won't actually fall. The enemy are getting danger close as well. So first rank, fire! Second, they're going to kneel or not? They do! Oh my god, that is so awesome. They're reloading like that. I assume the third rank does fire as well. Oh, that's so awesome. Let's go ahead and give them a charge now as well. Oh, we just received a charge as well. So again, let's go into combat here. Got our little lieutenant here as well, fighting hard. Really awesome stuff. Really awesome stuff there. We've got this unit over here as well, still firing in. So what does Neil fire do? Is it just, are they just like firing like rapidly, probably, most likely, right? Yeah, so everybody's going to reform up and then fire rapidly into the enemy, I would assume. Yeah, there you go. First rank has fired. But I mean, this just like goes to show how awesome Shogun 2 is as a game. And obviously as well, this mod also will have, oh, so cavalry comes flying in against me. Their horses are fucking huge, but I guess they are war horses. This mod will also have co-op campaign as well, which is very exciting. Very exciting indeed. General does have some abilities. Encourage, regroup position. Oh, I wonder what that means. What does that do? I guess maybe if we're in a group, they'll try and look to get there. I wonder what that ability does do. I don't think it tells me. Oh, routing units will reform there. That's actually really cool. And a mechanic they should definitely add into Total War in future, like having a direction where units retreat to. That just is common sense, right? Like, especially in this era where units were falling back a lot of the time. That makes complete sense and is absolutely awesome. Very, very cool mod. And I do apologize to Izzy for, yeah, taking this long to actually go ahead and cover it for sure. Obviously, you know, you've got custom animations as well. There are some bayonet fighting, but I think that... No, actually, they didn't have bayonets in Fall of a Samurai, right? People edited them in because they looked really cool, but there weren't actually any bayonets in Fall of a Samurai. So again, a lot of the animations you're probably seeing are all custom made, which is very cool. So let's go ahead and tell these guys to do another fire by rank. Again, obviously, we do have the Coldstream Guard here. So let's zoom in on them. Watch the first rank. Kneel and prepare to fire. As the drum does go off. Obviously reforming. Probably waiting for everyone to reload. Everyone has reloaded, right? Maybe they can't shoot because... There you go. These guys must be able to shoot now. There we go. Perfect. There's no, like, cinematic mode in this, is there? No. Yeah, last couple ranks having to reload really quickly. Come on, boys. Oh, the battle's over before I could fire rank that. Did I routed? Must have routed. I wonder what happened there. However, the enemy... oh, look at that as well. The British flag down as the French push forward. I wonder how I lost that. I guess I must have just, like, chain routed or something. Which is interesting. Again, a lot of these balanced battling is probably stuff I didn't understand. And obviously, it kind of sucked to lose a battle when it was generally still pretty close. But, you know, again, stuff like this will obviously be a bit more thought out when the campaign does fully release and stuff like that. So yeah, that's gonna be the mod right there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little preview of the mod. I think this has so much potential. It really does. I think Fall of a Samurai suits itself so well to a Victoria Total War, which is eventually what this mod is looking to do. I'm really excited to see the future of it. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you go check out the mod itself. I'll leave the Discord link down below in the description so you guys can go over there and check out all the awesome stuff. They host regular online battle games, so if you just want to mess around with all the cool units and find people to play with, they do that. And also there will be plenty of opportunities, I'm sure, to find out when this mod does release with the Spanish campaign. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.